My name is Daniel, and for most of my life, I thought I understood love. I thought I knew what loyalty meant. I thought marriage was sacred, unshakable. But what I'm about to tell you is the kind of story that rips apart your faith in everything you once believed. Because my wife, the woman I swore to love, honor, and protect, betrayed me in the most devastating way possible. And the worst part? She didn't just betray me with a stranger. She cheated on me with my own brother. But let me start at the beginning. I met Claire when I was 27. She was radiant, the kind of woman who walked into a room and made everyone turn their head. Not because she was the loudest, but because she carried herself like she was born to be adored. Her laugh was contagious, her eyes warm, her words soft. I was a shy guy back then, still finding my place in the corporate world. But somehow, she noticed me. Somehow, she chose me. Our love was the kind you see in movies. Late night drives, stolen kisses, dreams whispered under the stars. Within 2 years, we were married. A small ceremony. Family and friends gathered in the backyard of my parents' home. I remember holding her hands and thinking, this is it. This is forever. If only I knew then what was waiting for me down the road. Now, here's something important you need to know about me. Family isn't just important, it's everything. Especially my younger brother, Adam. He and I grew up inseparable. Even though we were 3 years apart, we did everything together. He was my best friend, my confidant, the guy I'd take a bullet for. Adam was always the charming one. Women gravitated toward him. He had that easy smile, that effortless charisma. I used to joke that if we walked into a bar together, I'd end up buying my own drinks, while Adam left with phone numbers. But I never minded. He was my brother. When I married Claire, I was happy that she and Adam got along. He was a part of my world, and she became my whole world. So it made sense for them to be close. At least, that's what I told myself back then. Our marriage had its ups and downs, like any marriage does. We argued about little things, who forgot to do the dishes, why I worked late hours, how much time she spent on her phone. But nothing ever felt dangerous. Nothing ever felt like a crack that could split us in two. Or maybe, I just didn't see it. Looking back now, the warning signs were there. Like the way Claire would light up when Adam walked into the room. At family gatherings, her laughter seemed louder when he made jokes. Sometimes I'd find them deep in conversation, their heads bent close, whispering like they had secrets. When I'd walk over, they'd straighten up quickly, as if I'd interrupted something private. I brushed it off. They're just close. It's innocent. Because what husband wants to believe his wife might be looking at his brother that way? The first real seed of doubt was planted one night, about 3 years into our marriage. I came home late from work, exhausted, only to find Claire sitting in the living room. She jumped when I walked in, her phone slipping from her hand. "Who were you talking to?" I asked, trying to sound casual. She smiled too quickly. "Oh, just a friend." But when I leaned in to grab the phone, she pulled it away. "Private stuff, Daniel. Don't you trust me?" Of course, I said yes. Because I did trust her. I wanted to trust her. So I kissed her forehead and let it go. But that night, lying in bed, I couldn't shake the feeling. Something about the way she hid that phone. Something about the guilt in her eyes. Still, I buried it. I told myself I was imagining things. Then came the night everything started to unravel. It was my birthday. Claire threw me a surprise party, balloons, cake, family, and friends gathered in our home. Adam was there, of course. He always was. At one point, I walked into the kitchen to grab more drinks, and I caught sight of something that made my stomach tighten. Claire and Adam. Alone. He was leaning against the counter. She was laughing softly, her hand resting on his arm. Just a simple touch, but an intimate one. Too intimate. When they noticed me, they sprang apart like guilty teenagers. Claire's face flushed. Adam cleared his throat, pretending nothing had happened. I forced a smile, but inside, something cracked. That night, after everyone left, I confronted Claire. "What's going on with you and Adam?" I asked. Her eyes widened, feigning shock. "What? Nothing." "Daniel, how could you even say that?" "Because I see it," I said, my voice low, trembling. "The way you look at him. The way you laugh at everything he says. The way you touch him." She shook her head, tears forming. "You're being paranoid. He's your brother, for God's sake." And maybe she was right. Maybe I was paranoid. Because when she cried and begged me to believe her, I did. I wanted so badly to believe her. But deep down, a seed had taken root. And it was growing. Weeks passed, and the tension only got worse. Claire started staying out late, claiming she was with friends. Adam suddenly had excuses for not answering my calls. My gut screamed at me, but I kept shoving it down, convincing myself I was just insecure. Until the night that shattered everything. It was late. Claire had said she was going to her friend's house for a girls' night. Something about the way she said it felt off. So I decided to check. I drove to her friend's place. And she wasn't there. My heart pounded as I sat in the car, dialing her number. She didn't answer. But then, I saw something that made my blood turn to ice. Across town, near a quiet motel, I spotted a familiar car. Adam's car, parked outside. And beside it, Claire's. I froze, gripping the steering wheel so hard my knuckles turned white. There was no more doubt. No more excuses. My wife and my brother were together. And in that single, shattering moment, something inside me died. But another part of me was born. The part that whispered, "They will regret this. Both of them. Forever." And that night, I made a vow. I wasn't going to confront them right away. No, I was going to wait, watch, and plan. Because if Claire thought she could betray me and walk away unscathed, she was dead wrong. I didn't sleep that night. I sat in my car outside that motel, staring at their cars, waiting for them to come out. My chest burned with a rage I'd never felt before. Every second that ticked by, I imagined them together inside, laughing, touching, betraying me in ways that twisted my stomach. But I didn't storm in. I didn't want a scene. Not yet. I wanted proof. I wanted them to hang themselves with their own lies before I struck. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, I saw them. Claire walked out first, her hair messy, her smile wide. Adam followed behind, his hand brushing against her back in a way no sister-in-law should allow. I clenched my fists so hard that my nails dug into my palms. They got into their cars and drove off in separate directions, thinking no one knew their filthy secret. But I knew, and that was enough. When Claire came home later that night, I pretended to be half asleep on the couch. She crept in quietly, tiptoeing, her perfume mixed with something that made me want to throw up. "Long night," I muttered, my eyes barely open. She jumped. "Oh, Daniel, I didn't mean to wake you." "Yeah, we just lost track of time." "With your friends?" I asked, sitting up slowly. She nodded quickly, avoiding my eyes. "Yeah. Girls' night. You know how it is." I forced a smile. "Of course. Glad you had fun." Her face relaxed. She kissed my cheek, whispered goodnight, and slipped into bed. And I lay there, staring at the ceiling, my anger solidifying into something cold and sharp. The next few days, I became an actor in my own home. Smiling, laughing, pretending everything was fine. But underneath, I was studying her, watching her every move, every text she hid, every call she silenced when I walked into the room. I also started watching Adam, calling him more often, inviting him over, pretending like nothing had changed. And he, my own brother, looked me in the eyes and lied. "Been busy lately," he'd say, shrugging. "With what?" I asked casually. "Work, you know. Long hours." Long hours. My foot. Long hours in motel rooms with my wife. It ate at me, piece by piece. The betrayal wasn't just from Claire. It was from Adam too. The one person in the world who should have had my back no matter what. One night, I decided to test her. "Hey," I said casually over dinner, stabbing at my food. "Adam told me he was working late again. Poor guy never catches a break, huh?" Her fork froze midair for just a second before she recovered. Yeah, I guess so. He works hard. Too fast. Too rehearsed." I caught it in her eyes, the flicker of panic. That was the moment I knew I wasn't imagining things. My gut had been screaming the truth all along. I started making my own plans. Secret ones. First, I set up a hidden camera in our living room, one in the hallway, and one in the guest room. It was easy. Claire never paid attention when I worked on tech stuff. Then, I installed a GPS tracker on her car. It was simple enough, hidden under the bumper. I wasn't just going to confront them. I was going to collect every ounce of evidence, every dirty secret. And when the time was right, I'd use it. But the hardest part, acting normal while knowing the truth. The breaking point came one Saturday afternoon. Claire told me she was going shopping with a friend. She even dressed up. Too much for a shopping trip. Tight dress, heels, lipstick that made my blood boil. As soon as she left, I pulled out my phone and tracked her car. My stomach churned when I saw where she went. Not to a mall. Not to a friend's house. To Adam's apartment. I drove there, parking a few streets away, my hand shaking as I held the steering wheel. My mind screamed at me to storm in, to drag them both out and expose them. But I stayed put. I waited. Hours later, when she finally left, I saw Adam walk her to the door. They hugged, too close, too long. He kissed her forehead before she got into her car. And just like that, the truth was undeniable. That night, I didn't speak a word to her. She climbed into bed, humming to herself, probably replaying the afternoon in her head. I lay next to her, staring into the darkness, my chest tight with rage. And I made another vow. Not only would I make her regret this betrayal, but Adam too. The opportunity came sooner than I expected. A week later, we had a family dinner at my parents' house. Everyone was there, mom, dad, cousins, uncles. Adam sat across from me, smirking like nothing was wrong. Claire sat beside me, holding my hand under the table, as if she wasn't stabbing me in the back every chance she got. I watched them closely, every glance, every secret smile they thought no one noticed. My blood boiled, but I kept calm. After dinner, while Claire was helping my mom in the kitchen, I pulled Adam aside. "Hey," I said casually. "You've been busy lately, huh?" He shrugged, sipping his drink. "Yeah, work's been killing me." I leaned in closer, my voice low and cold. "Careful, little brother. Lying has a way of catching up to people." His eyes flickered, just for a second. But then he smirked. "What's that supposed to mean?" "Nothing," I said with a smile. "Just be careful." He chuckled, brushing it off. But I saw the crack in his confidence. He knew. Deep down, he knew I was onto him. That night, after we got home, Claire curled up next to me in bed and whispered, "I love you." I almost laughed. Instead, I whispered back, "I love you too." But inside, my mind was already spinning with the next move. Because I wasn't going to confront them yet. No, I was going to let them dig their grave deeper. I was going to let them get comfortable, careless. And when the moment was right, I'd destroy them both. Lying there in the dark, with my wife's head on my chest, I knew something she didn't. She thought she was winning. She thought she had me fooled. But what she didn't know was that I was watching, recording, waiting. And soon, very soon, her entire world would come crashing down. Days turned into weeks, and with every passing moment, I collected more evidence of their betrayal. The GPS log showed a clear pattern. Claire's trips to Adam's apartment weren't rare. They were routine. My hidden cameras at home caught her whispering into the phone late at night, her voice soft and intimate. She thought she was being careful, stepping out onto the porch or locking herself in the bathroom when she talked to him. But she wasn't careful enough. I had microphones placed, and every word she spoke to Adam cut into me like a knife. "God, I miss you," she whispered one night. "I wish I could just stay at your place forever." My chest tightened, rage threatening to explode. But I forced myself to stay calm. Patience was my weapon, and revenge my endgame. One evening, she told me she had to work late at the office. I pretended to believe her. I kissed her on the cheek, told her not to tire herself out, and watched her walk out the door. As soon as she left, I opened the GPS tracker on my phone. No office. No downtown. Straight to Adam's place. This time, I didn't stay behind. I drove. Every mile felt like fire in my veins. My hands gripped the steering wheel so tight it hurt. The thought of them together, my wife and my brother, was almost too much to bear. When I reached Adam's street, I parked far enough not to be noticed but close enough to see. Her car was right there, in his driveway. And then, as if fate wanted to twist the knife deeper, I saw them through the window. Claire's silhouette, Adam's figure close to hers. They kissed. Long, slow, passionate. I couldn't breathe. I gripped my phone, recording a video, zooming in. Proof. Real, undeniable proof. My heart was shattering, but my mind was calculating. I wasn't going to confront them here in the heat of anger. No, that would give them an excuse. That would give them power. I needed them to feel the walls closing in. That night, when she came home, she acted so casual it was disgusting. She dropped her purse, kissed me softly, and said, "I'm exhausted. Rough day at work." I smiled. "I bet. Why don't you shower and get some rest?" "Good idea," she said, disappearing into the bathroom. As the water ran, I sat there on the couch, staring at the video I'd recorded just hours earlier. My wife, my brother, tangled in each other's arms. When she came out of the shower, wrapped in a towel, she smiled at me. And I swear, it took every ounce of control not to throw the truth in her face right there. Instead, I kissed her forehead and whispered, "Good night." But inside, my rage was boiling hotter than ever. The next day, I decided to test Adam. I called him up and said, "Hey, haven't hung out in a while. Want to grab a drink tonight?" He hesitated for a split second before answering. Yeah, sure. What time?" 8, I said. "Cool. I'll see you then." When we met at the bar, he looked nervous. He laughed too hard at my jokes, avoided eye contact, and kept checking his phone, probably waiting for Claire. After a couple of beers, I leaned back and asked casually, "So, how's dating life? Anyone special these days?" He froze. Just for a moment. Then he smirked. "Nah, nothing serious. You know me." I forced a laugh. Yeah. Ladies as manual, but inside, my anger flared. He was lying through his teeth. The coward couldn't even admit it to me. That night, when I got home, Claire was already in bed. I stood in the doorway, watching her sleep. Her face looked so innocent, so peaceful, like she hadn't just spent weeks betraying me with my own blood. And that's when the thought hit me. She didn't deserve peace. Neither of them did. The breaking point came a few days later. I'd set the hidden camera in our living room to record whenever there was movement. Normally, it caught Claire talking on the phone or rushing in and out of the house. But that day it caught something else. I was at work when the notification pinged on my phone. Motion detected. I opened the app, and what I saw nearly broke me. Claire. In our house. With Adam. They weren't even hiding anymore. Adam had come over while I was gone. They kissed, touched, laughed. On my couch. Under my roof. My hand shook so badly I almost dropped my phone. My stomach twisted, and for a moment, I thought I might throw up. This was no longer suspicion. This was no longer whispers in the dark. This was betrayal, raw and real, right in front of me. And as I watched them together, my vision blurred with tears. Not just of heartbreak, but of fury. Because now, I had everything I needed. That night, I didn't say a word to Claire. I pretended like everything was normal. We ate dinner. She talked about her busy day at work. She smiled at me across the table like nothing was wrong. But I smiled back, knowing something she didn't. Her time was almost up. I spent the next week preparing, gathering every video, every GPS log, every audio recording. I built a collection of proof so solid it would burn their lies to ashes. And then, I planned the reveal. It had to be public. It had to be devastating. I wanted her to feel humiliation. I wanted Adam to feel shame. And most of all, I wanted them to feel fear. The opportunity came when my parents invited us all over for a Sunday dinner. Family gathered, laughter filled the air, and everyone was relaxed. Perfect. Claire sat beside me, holding my hand like the devoted wife she pretended to be. Adam cracked jokes across the table, acting like the perfect brother. And I sat there, smiling, waiting for the right moment. Because tonight, their masks would come off. As my father raised his glass for a toast, I cleared my throat, pulled out my phone, and said calmly, "Before we celebrate, there's something I need to show you all." The clinking of glasses echoed through my parents' dining room as my father smiled, holding his drink high. Everyone was relaxed, my cousins laughing, Mom bustling around, Adam smirking across the table. and Claire clutching my hand like the perfect wife. But my heart was pounding like a war drum. This was the moment. I cleared my throat. Actually, I said slowly, before we toast, I have something I'd like to share. All eyes turned to me. Claire's fingers tightened around mine, confused. Adam's smirk faltered just slightly. I pulled out my phone and tapped the screen. I've been working on a little project, and I think tonight is the right time to show it. I connected my phone to the TV in the living room. A second later, the screen lit up. Silence fell as the first video began to play. There she was, Claire, my wife, on our couch, with Adam, laughing, kissing, holding him like she used to hold me. The room erupted in gasps. Claire froze, her face draining of color. Adam's glass slipped from his hand, shattering on the floor. Daniel, what is this? My mother whispered, horrified. I didn't answer. I just let the video keep rolling. Every hug, every kiss, every touch. Proof. Undeniable. When it ended, the silence was suffocating. I turned to Claire. Do you want to explain? Her lips trembled. Daniel, please, it's not what it looks like. I laughed bitterly. Not what it looks like? Really? Because it looks like my wife and my brother have been sneaking around behind my back. Adam stood, his face red. Daniel, calm down. Calm down? I snapped, slamming my fist on the table. You betrayed me. You, my own brother. And you. I turned to Claire, my voice breaking. You promised me forever. Tears welled in her eyes. I made a mistake. A mistake? I hissed. This wasn't a mistake. It was months of lies. Months of sneaking around. Don't you dare call it a mistake. The room was chaos. My mother sobbing. My father shouting at Adam. Cousins whispering in shock. Claire tried to grab my hand, but I pulled away like her touch burned me. You said you loved me, I whispered, my voice cracking. You said I was your world. I do love you, she cried. But Adam, he understood me in ways. Don't. I cut her off, my rage boiling. Don't you dare stand here in front of me, in front of our family, and justify what you did. Adam tried to step closer, but my father grabbed his arm, his voice thunderous. Enough. You've shamed this family, Adam. You've destroyed your own brother's marriage. Claire broke down, falling to her knees, sobbing. Daniel, please, I can't lose you. I'll end it with him. Just give me another chance. I stared down at her, my chest heaving. For a moment, a small part of me, the part that still remembered the woman I married, wanted to believe her. But then I remembered the lies. The nights she snuck away. The way she laughed with Adam. The way she touched him like I didn't exist. And the pity vanished. I knelt down so she could see the fury in my eyes. You've already lost me. Her sobs turned into wails as my words hit her like a knife. I stood tall, my voice steady. I want you out of my house. Tonight. The room went dead silent. Claire looked up, eyes wide. Daniel, please. Tonight. I repeated coldly. My mother gasped, but my father nodded grimly. He's right. She betrayed him. She has no place under his roof anymore. Adam looked panicked. Where is she supposed to go? I turned to him, my fury spilling over. Why don't you take her? That's what you wanted all along, isn't it? He opened his mouth, but no words came out. Claire reached for me one last time, sobbing. I'll do anything. Please. Don't throw me away. I pulled my hand back. You threw us away the moment you chose him. That night, I packed her bags myself. She cried, begged, clung to me, but I didn't falter. You wanted him? I said coldly as I set her suitcase by the door. Now you have him. She collapsed on the porch, sobbing into her hands. Adam stood there awkwardly, torn between guilt and desire. I slammed the door in their faces. Inside, I leaned against the wall, my chest heaving. My heart was shattered, but for the first time in weeks, I felt powerful. They thought they could break me, but they had no idea who they were dealing with. But my revenge wasn't over, not even close. Over the next few weeks, the fallout spread like wildfire. Our family disowned Adam. Friends turned their backs on Claire. Everywhere they went, whispers followed. But I wasn't satisfied. No, I wanted her to feel what I felt, to lose everything, to drown in regret. So I took it further. I sent the videos to her employer, anonymously of course. Claire worked in a respectable firm, one that valued integrity and image. It wasn't long before she was called into HR, and just like that, she lost her job. Adam wasn't spared either. I made sure his colleagues saw the footage, the whispers, the judgment. It ate at him day by day. And me? I rebuilt myself. I worked harder, got fitter, sharper. I refused to let their betrayal define me. But I wasn't done with Claire yet, because one night, weeks later, she showed up at my door. Her hair was a mess, her eyes swollen from crying, her clothes wrinkled. She looked nothing like the confident woman who once betrayed me. She fell to her knees on my doorstep, sobbing. "Daniel, please. I've lost everything. My job, my family, my dignity. I need you. I need us." I stared down at her, my heart pounding. This was it, the moment I'd been waiting for. She clutched my legs, crying, "I'll do anything to earn your forgiveness. Please take me back." And I looked at her, broken and desperate, knowing the power was finally in my hands. But the question burned in my mind, should I show her mercy? Or destroy her completely? The night air was cold, but Claire's sobs cut through it like fire. She clung to my legs on the doorstep, shaking, begging, broken in a way I had never seen before. "Daniel," she cried, "I can't live without you. I've lost everything. My job, my friends. Even my own family won't look at me. Please, please give me another chance. I'll do anything." I looked down at her, my chest heavy. A part of me, deep inside, remembered the nights we laughed together, the mornings we woke up tangled in each other's arms. But that part of me was buried under mountains of betrayal. I pulled her up to her feet. She looked at me with desperate, bloodshot eyes, searching for hope. "Come inside," I said flatly. Her face lit up with relief, as if she thought I'd forgiven her. She rushed inside, wiping her tears, trying to compose herself. But forgiveness was the last thing on my mind. She sat on the couch, fidgeting nervously, while I stood across from her. "I've been thinking a lot," I began slowly, "about what you did, about how you didn't just betray me, you humiliated me. You took everything we built and threw it away for a fling with my brother." Her lips trembled. "It wasn't just a fling. I thought I loved him, but I was wrong. I see that now. It's you I love. It's always been you." I laughed bitterly. "Do you even hear yourself? You said those same words to me before sneaking off to his bed." Her tears flowed harder. "I was stupid, blind, but I've paid for it, Daniel. I've lost everything. Please don't take you away from me too." I leaned closer, my voice dropping cold. "You lost me the moment you touched him." Her face crumbled. She reached for my hand, but I pulled it away. Then I gave her the choice. "You want redemption? Fine. Then admit everything. Right here. Right now. On camera." Her eyes widened. "What?" I pulled out my phone, setting it on the table, recording. "Confess. Tell the truth. Every detail. About you and Adam. About how long it went on. Everything. You want me to even consider forgiving you? You'll give me that." She shook her head frantically. "Daniel, please, not that. If you record it, people will." I cut her off sharply. "They already know. Everyone knows. The only person who hasn't told the truth is you." Her body shook as she broke down. And then, between sobs, she confessed. "I cheated on you with Adam," she whispered. "For months. I lied every time I said I was working late. I lied every time I kissed you goodnight. I betrayed you, Daniel. I betrayed our marriage. And I regret it more than anything I've ever done." Her voice cracked, her body shaking violently. "I lost you. And I deserve it. I deserve everything I'm going through. But please, don't hate me. Don't hate me forever." I ended the recording and stared at her. "You think this is about hate?" I said coldly. "No. Hate would mean I still care. What I feel for you now is nothing. Just emptiness." Her knees buckled as if my words had crushed her soul. I opened the door. "Leave." Her head shot up, panic filling her eyes. "No, please. Don't throw me away. Don't send me back to nothing. Nothing is what you left me with," I said firmly. "Now you get to live in it." Her sobs echoed as she stumbled out the door, collapsing onto the porch, screaming my name. But I didn't look back. I closed the door, sealing her fate. The days that followed were strangely quiet, peaceful. Adam tried to reach out to me once, sending a pathetic text. "We made a mistake. I'm sorry." I deleted it without replying. He was dead to me. Claire tried too. Endless calls, messages, even letters. Each one more desperate than the last. But I never responded. And slowly, the silence swallowed her. Word spread about what she'd done. No one wanted to be associated with her. She lost her job, her friends, her reputation. Adam, too, grew cold toward her when the reality set in. Their so-called love withered under the weight of shame. In the end, they didn't even have each other. Months passed. I rebuilt my life, focused on my work, my health, my happiness. I found strength in the storm they created. And one day, I met someone new. A woman who looked at me with honesty in her eyes, who spoke with sincerity in her voice. She wasn't Claire. She wasn't a liar, a cheater, a betrayer. She was real. And for the first time in a long time, I allowed myself to hope again. But Claire never recovered. I heard from a mutual acquaintance that she had moved away, broke, alone, a shadow of the woman she once was. She had begged for forgiveness until her voice went hoarse. But forgiveness never came. Because some wounds don't heal. Some betrayals can't be undone. And she would live with that for the rest of her life. So, that's my story. My wife cheated on me with my brother. And yes, I made her regret it forever. Betrayal cuts deeper than any knife. But revenge? Revenge gave me closure. She thought she could break me, but in the end, she broke herself. What do you think? Did I go too far in how I made her regret it? Or did she get exactly what she deserved? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want more stories of love, betrayal, and revenge, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Because trust me, there are more stories you won't believe.